Lori Jane here. I'm going to attempt to show you how to create a second identity profile so that you can safely explore YouTube videos and reply and have a second Gmail that you can use to talk to people as you're coming out. So this is more for the PIMOs, those who are physically in but mentally out of whatever a high control religious group you're trying to exit from. This came up today in talking to a new friend that I met, and they were really struggling with that. They actually tried to reach out to me a while ago, got my voicemail, got scared, and just left a message and said they'd call back, but they never did. So I'm glad they finally did, and so it incentivized me, inspired me to go ahead and do this video. So chances are you might know better ways than what I'm about to show. This is what I did. Feel free to put that in the chat below, the feedback below, the comments, and if it's something, I could even make another video if it's a little more complicated than reading a how-to. So this is what I did. So I came in here. This is my web browser. It's Microsoft Edge, which uses the Chrome background, if you will. So this would work the same for Chrome. Now I'm going to, instead of being logged in as my current identity, I'm going to click on File, New, in Private Window. That's kind of off the screen for what you're looking at, so I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing. Let me bring this over. So what it did is it opened up another browser window, but now it doesn't have any of my cookies or anything that really identifies me. So that's what you want to do first of all. And you can do that too when you're just browsing websites. Use that private browsing. So now I'm going to go to Google. And I normally pretend like I'm going to set up a Gmail. So rather than signing in, if you already have one, you're going to come down here and click Create Account. For myself. And this is where you just come up with a fictitious first and last name. For me, I did Lori Jane. That was my childhood nickname growing up. So I made Jane my last name. So this time I'll just make up one, Lisa Jane. Username, Lisa Jane. And I did USA. It does tend to be very international when you start mixing with the XJW community. So you might want to put what country you're from. So I'm going to put lisajane.usa@gmail.com. I'm going to give it a password. And then I'm going to, oops, Lisa Jane USA is already taken. So let me do number 2. See if that works. All right, here we go. I'm going to click Next. When you create a Gmail, you're creating a new Google account. Google, as you probably might already know, once you have that, you can use it for email, Gmail. You can use it for YouTube. You can use it for Google Drive, where you can actually save files and spreadsheets and things like that, all in the cloud. There's a brother who has a whole drive that he'll share with you if you ask, and it's got tons of files and stuff. Well, you don't want to do that with your real Google identity, but with your new XJW one, you can. So I'm going to click Next. Phone number's optional. I wouldn't worry about that right now. Recovery email address. You could put your real email address if you feel like no one is going to use that, but again, that's optional. Put your birthday. I'm just going to make up one. Gender, rather not say. Okay. It's just my, all right, next. I agree. Thinking. So Google does make it easy in that it gives you access to a lot of key areas. I mean, you could do a free Hotmail or Yahoo, but Google works because we tend to go to YouTube a lot and watch a lot of XJW videos. So by having it already Google, it just makes your life that much easier. Google Meet, not interested in that right now. Okay, so this is your new Gmail. You can start having people email, I forgot what I made it already, lisajane2@gmail.com. So whatever you make yours, you could do Mickey Mouse, you can do whatever. So take some time to be thoughtful about it because that'll be kind of your new identity. I personally like it when it kind of sounds like a name versus, getting the heck out of here or something like that. Okay, so now once you're here, they have this Google Apps. It looks like I call it a domino board. You just click on a checkerboard, and these are the different apps that are linked to your new Google account. So here's YouTube. So I'm going to click on YouTube, and I'm going to go to finding, Lori Jane. And there I am. So, of course, please subscribe. But so now you can come in, and if I go down below, and let's say I want to just go to this video here. This was my first one. And if I go to the comments, see now it says commenting publicly as Lisa Jane, not as Lori Jane, not as your permanent one. So that's very cool. So you can subscribe to XJW channels and things like that, and it'll save here and won't show up like on your TV account if you use it for other things. Now, how do you switch accounts? You're going to come up here, and you can switch account, and you can put in your real or your primary. Let's call it primary Google account, and you can switch back and forth. So that's how I do it all day long. I go in and out, depending on if I'm in my mother mode and I got to go in the accounts that I use as a with the teachers and stuff like that, or the one that I do with being Lori Jane. So okay, let's see, what else can I show you? Okay, so I'm going to go back to our little grid. Okay, that's bringing up YouTube stuff. I was hoping to bring me back to the Gmail stuff. Okay, so if that happens, just go back to Gmail. And we'll come back up to our little domino grid, and let's see what else we can do. Google Drive. This is where you can type things that'll stay private and only in this account. So if you have like a shared laptop with someone, then you could kind of keep this locked down. You can put your documents here and stuff like that. So like a new Google Doc, it's the same thing as like a Word document. It's a word processor, so you can do that here. So let's see. So YouTube and Gmail. That's oh, I know what I want to show you. I'm not sure if it's on the little domino thing. Let's see here. Duo, my kids use all the time. It's kind of like FaceTime, but it's multi-platform, so you don't have to be an Apple user. You could be a Android user as well. I'm not seeing it here. They do have the ability to create a phone number. I'm not seeing it here. Okay, so I do happen to know that URL. It's voice, I believe, .google.com. Okay, there you go. So personal use. You have to have a working cell phone for this. But what it's going to actually do is it's going to give you a second phone number that you can give out to people. And you can turn it off. But if you want to turn it on during certain hours, you can, and it'll ring through to your cell phone, and you can set it up to make an announcement to let you know. So I'm going to just say I have let's do web. Let's see what it allows for web. Welcome to Google Voice, a free phone number to take control of your communication. I'm clicking continue. And you can put in whatever area code you're in. I'm in 321 in Florida, and I'll just grab this first one. And so this is going to be my new number that I can give out to XJW people. It's not my cell phone number. It'll forward to my cell phone number. Okay, this is the number to link. Now, for me, it's not going to work because the one thing that Google does is it only allows you one to forward to one cell phone number. So it's not going to work for me, I don't think. Oh, maybe it will. It might knock me out. Of my other account, but I can put it back. Come on, Google. Enter the code you received. Here we go, got it. All right, so now that's linking my cell phone with this new Google number. And so if anyone calls this number, now my cell phone's going to ring, but it's going to say you have a Google number. And if someone calls and you don't answer, it'll say the Google subscriber is busy. Please leave a message or whatever. And not only is this a phone number, it's also text message. So you could give out that number to have people text you, and it will come. You won't necessarily get it on your phone. You could probably set it up to do that, but it will come in and stay in this account, and you'll get like an email notification on your new email, your Lisa Jane 2, your version of that. So so here's where the voicemail messages would come. This is a sample test message.
Welcome to Google Voice. Google Voice gives you a single phone number that...
You get the idea. So they will try and transcribe the message that comes in. So you're going to get that little transcription in the email that it came. Here's messages. These are text messages. So if you want to send a new text message, you just need to put the phone number in. I think you have to do the +1 or whatever the... Yep, I just got a new text message from that phone number. So that's how easy you can set up a new identity, a temporary identity. Normally after a period of time, you can come out, so to speak. But this way you can feel safe to communicate. Again, you're using a fake name. So if you don't turn your camera on when you go to Zoom meetings and things like that, they'll only know you by your handle. And you can give out this phone number safely, because if you want to turn it off, you can come into the settings here, this little gear, and you can switch which phone it's linked to. This is where forward messages to linked numbers. If I check this and someone dials that number, now it's going to forward to my cell phone. If I don't, then I'm going to get the message here and I can call them back. So if you don't want it ringing on your phone at all, then use that method, and then you can see who called you and call them back. And I believe you can even make an outgoing call from here, so it will show as if it's coming from your Google number instead of your cell phone number. And here's where it's forwarding messages to this email, so you'll see it there as well. And you can put that email on your phone if you want. When you set up your accounts, you could set up a new Google account if you're not worried about someone looking at your phone. If you are and you just want to do everything contained in a private web browser like I've just done, then you'll have to just come online to google.com or gmail.com and check your mail that way. Always use my phone to place calls. When you start a call on the web, answer your phone to finish connecting the call. So that's another option. So at any rate, it's pretty easy. You just set up a new Google account with a fake name, and that's allowed. People do it all the time. People do it so that they can have one profile for business and one profile for personal. So definitely, especially if you don't have a Google number yet, then I think this is a really good solution for safely surfing the web and exchanging information with new people that you meet, because you want to build a new friend network. The only thing I would caution is Facebook. Facebook is what got me disfellowshipped, because for whatever reason, when I created my second Facebook account with my Lori Jane information, it somehow knew people from high school for me and was recommending it. So what happened was my new Lori Jane account got recommended to all of my JW friends. They didn't know who I was initially because I just used a little cartoon picture from my profile pic, which I recommend you do too, something like that, versus your real face initially. But when I made my first video and I shared it on Facebook, thinking only my ex-JW world saw it, people in my real JW world, I shouldn't say real because now this is my real world, people saw it. So, just be aware of that. Facebook's a little tricky. But once you have this Google account, you can get a Twitter account, a Reddit account, and use your new Google login as your identity to link you in. It'll keep everything linked. So, all right, I hope that helps. If you have any suggestions along that line, or if you want to come on and do a live broadcast with me to show any tips that you've learned, please let me know. LoriJaneUSA@gmail.com. And that's it. Be blessed. Take care.